Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Justin Riley, filling in for Ellen Barrett, who is on assignment and will join us later on in the program. This week, we've been talking a lot about community engagement. We were joined by the Columbus Public Library earlier on in our program, in our other program, and now we're joined by the Madison Civics Club, and I have sitting next to me Linda Berman and Miranda Salguero. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, good to have you with us today. So, for folks who don't know what the Madison Civics Club is, I'm wondering if one of you can give a background.
Madison Civics Club is actually in its 105th season
Wow.
of providing engagement with the community, as well as providing youth grant scholarships to allow youth in the community to enhance where we live in the Madison area.
Sure. So talk about a little bit about the community engagement and being the civic awareness. Talk a little bit about what that is.
Well, the civic awareness began 105 years ago, before women had the right to vote. So to allow women to feel like they were being educated and part of the community, speakers were brought in. Speakers have included Eleanor Roosevelt, Margaret Mead, Carl Sandburg, just Amelia Earhart, just some of the ones in the past who aren't going to make an appearance. But last season we had Mimi Gardner Gates, Director Emerita of the Seattle Art Museum, Bill Gates' stepmother, who came in from Seattle. We had Chancellor Blank, we had Jonathan Overby, and our final speaker was Jessica Fellows, who came from England just for us, who has written all the official companion books to Downton Abbey, which her uncle Julian Fellows wrote.
That's
so
fantastic.
the idea is to learn, to be educated, as well as to engage the community in being civic leaders, civic participants.
Yeah, absolutely, in participating in your community. So the 105th season, that's incredible. So registration, as I understand, is open or will be open soon for the 105th season?
It is open.
Okay.
And we do have an early bird fee that will be open until the 19th. So if people sign up soon and they're thinking about giving us a try, is a good time to do that.
Okay.
But we're also open to the public and to non-members later on in the year if people are interested as well.
Great. And who are you hosting this year for your speakers? Because you have 4 luncheons, 4 speakers throughout the year.
We do. We're really excited this year. We'll be opening on October 1st with Charles Franklin, who's the creator of the Marquette Poll and the director of the Marquette Poll, who'll be talking about the 2016 election and polling and how it affects the country and also our state. In November, we'll have Erin Winkler, who will be speaking about racism and how we talk about race and how we think about race and why it matters. Then we have a meeting in March where we'll have Richard Halverson, who's a leader in education and progressive education in our state and then around the world. And he'll be talking about reinventing schools and what that should look like for the future. And then in April, we'll have Kelly Wills, who's been featured in the Huffington Post, and she's really an up-and-coming writer and a professor who will be talking about politicking while female, which is just a great timing for thinking and talking about how the media represents females and female leaders.
Absolutely. So it's a lot of it sounds like it's a lot of topics that kind of help us to think differently about things that are already out there, issues that are already out there.
They do. Yeah. And that's the reason I ended up becoming involved with the club, is because it's so easy to get wrapped up in a setting where you only hear or read or talk to people who agree with you or who are interested in the things you're interested in.
Yeah.
Particularly, I mean, social media is geared to do that, right? It gives you more of what you like. And so I think Civics Club, for me at least, has pushed my thinking and exposed me to things that I might not have seeked out on my own, but that I'm really excited I know about now.
And we talked about, last time you guys were on maybe about a year ago, and we talked about civil discourse and how that's something that's just kind of gone away. People either, there really is no such thing as civil discourse anymore. It's either, there's high emotion attached to it sometimes, or people just don't talk about it at all. So I think that's great that you guys are kind of trying to re-engage the community into learning about civil discourse, which I think is fantastic. So I just have a question. We just have a few seconds left. It sounds to me like the Madison Civics Club is really, bar none to a lot of others. Are there other civics clubs that are as active as we are in this area?
Not that we know of.
I mean, someone comes all the way from England to Madison, Wisconsin. That's pretty impressive.
Well, and it's 105 years of engagement. I mean, Madison has always been in the forefront of many things, and especially the community leaders. I mean, we have many organizations in the community that are there to promote the community, but this is a way that even with our reading list, the Madison Public Library provides a reading list so people can get both sides of the issue for all of our speakers, and that will be available on our website. So the idea is that we are proud of what we're doing, and we've maintained it. And we, as I said in the past, you used to have to be on a waiting list before we moved to Monona Terrace, where all of our luncheon meetings are held. So it is at Monona Terrace, but prior to that, it was a very limited room, and you had to be on a waiting list, and you had to pay to be on the waiting list to get in. So,
Linda Berman and Miranda Salguero, thank you so much for joining us from the Madison Civics Club today.
Thank you
for
so
having
much,
us.
Justin.
Don't go away. There's more Talk of the Town coming up right after this. Stick around.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town, and I'm joined now by Adam Petrie, and you are the General Sales Manager over at Rosen Nissan. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
And now you guys are kind of new to this market, it sounds like. And when did you guys take over that new location?
July 15th was our first day in the store.
Okay, how's that going so far?
Love it, exciting.
Now, how do you guys work with all credit situations, or what do you guys do differently?
Well, we work with 25 lenders, so it gives us full spectrum lending. So every situation's a little different, and we've kind of tailored our banks to have the ability to lend to full spectrum. So.
That's so nice. And let's talk about the cars too, because you guys are all about the cars,
Absolutely.
right? That's what you guys do. And how do you guys price your cars? I've always kind of been curious about that.
80 to 90% of the people that buy cars, they go online first. So we use a third-party tool that market-based prices our cars. So it looks online, see what everything's selling for, where they're priced at, and make sure that we're ultra aggressive in the market with our pricing. So it's a third party that kind of prices them for us and makes sure that we're there.
So that's probably an even better benefit to customers, really.
Absolutely. You know the price, you see it online, you come in, you can get the car for that. There's no, no haggle, no deal. It's the best price right out of the gate.
Yeah, and they can come in, comfortable knowing that this is going to be the best deal.
Absolutely.
I like that. It takes a lot of the guesswork out for you, because sometimes buying a car can be a stressful situation because there are so many different options. And I wanted to ask you guys too about the Nissan Leaf. Do you guys sell the Nissan Leaf?
We do. The I had to cut that.
Sure.
The EV line is our electric vehicle line, and it's really big here in Madison. There's a big push for it.
Yeah.
We paired with a local energy company, and they're doing some special things for the customers as far as chargers and the ability to kind of subsidize some of the cost that comes with it. So.
Now, how exactly do electric cars work for somebody who might not be super car-minded?
Plug them in, charge them, and drive. You got a 100-mile range.
Easy enough.
Yeah, totally. That's all there is to it.
And I know you kind of mentioned too, there's more of a push for that. I've noticed that. I've gone to the grocery store, or even different gas stations, and they have that area, and you can literally just plug into that.
Plug it up.
Is there a fee, or how does that work?
No, there's no charge. A lot of places we allow people to charge at our stores.
Wow.
There's chargers all around town. You just go plug in. It charges your car up while you're shopping. It's a 100-mile range. Really, it never needs an oil change. There's not a lot of maintenance involved with them. So.
That is incredible. So not only probably better for the environment, but better for your pocketbook.
Absolutely.
So it's a win-win.
Win-win.
Now, are you guys hiring over at Rosen?
We are. We're hiring all positions. As we came in and started to expand, as we grow, then we have the ability to grow the company. So looking for sales, service, all positions.
So they can come see you?
Come see me directly. Absolutely.
Perfect. And I wanted to ask you, too, any sort of special offer you're going to offer our viewers today?
Absolutely.
Hoping?
Anybody that comes to the store and mentions see me on Talk of the Town, I'm going to do a 1995 oil change for any car up to 5 quarts of conventional oil. So.
Awesome. Now, do you have to have a Nissan to come do that?
No, any brand, like I said, up to the 5 quart of conventional, doesn't matter what the brand is, I'll take care of it on that. Just come in and mention Talk of the Town and ask for Adam.
I love it. So be sure to do that. And kind of going off too, you guys are obviously Nissan. What are some of the advantages of Nissan and your store in particular here in Madison? Just because, you drive anywhere and there are just so many options. It's hard to find a place, where you can trust people and you're going to get the best service.
I think it's a culture of customer service.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about. With our market-based pricing, with everything, just to make everything a smooth, seamless process. Our service department, our riders have been there for quite some time, so everybody knows them, and it's just a family atmosphere.
And now you guys are kind of bringing a fresh take too, because you are so new. So you're going to bring that fresh enthusiasm
Absolutely.
and, you know, really battling the competition.
Right.
You guys really want to be on top.
Ultra aggressive.
So where can people find you guys if they don't know where you are?
RosenNissan.com, or you can find us on the Beltline here. We're at 2510 West Beltline Highway. Sorry, I forgot my address. 2510 West Beltline Highway.
Perfect.
Here in Madison.
Awesome. So to all the viewers out there, just to give you another reminder again, be sure to stop into Rosen and tell him you saw Adam on Talk of the Town, and he'll give you an oil change for
$19.95.
Awesome. And you don't have to have a Nissan either to go get that.
Any brand.
What a great promotion. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks
We
for
loved
having me.
having you. And Talk of the Town will be back with more right after this. Welcome back to Talk of the Town, and I'm joined now by Marco and Krista with 93.1 Jams. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Thanks for having
Thanks.
us.
I think we might be at the wrong place. We're
Right?
going to be on the Ellen show.
There you go. I'm
This
taking
is,
over.
this is a better Ellen girl.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
honey.
very much.
Yes.
Well, I'm so excited to have you guys because I'm a big fan. I listen to you guys on the radio, and it's so nice to match a face to the voice, you know. It's so cool to meet the person in real life, and you guys have such a great morning show, and I'm sure you hear that quite a bit. You guys are so unique.
Well, when women meet him, like in real life, they're like, wow, you are very studly.
They're very
There you go.
disappointed.
Yeah,
in real life.
they're like, I thought you were a little bit taller. But
Yeah, that's the number one thing. And I was like, well, how does tall sound like? And
Right?
But,
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Why should people tune into your show? I'm a little biased, but
oh, cute. Well, definitely. Our show has everything to offer when it comes to, you know, a family fun show. You know, Marco and I are all about, you know, doing what we can to get into people's mornings to make them less stressed out. So again, we are all about putting smiles on their faces, and we have a really great show that incorporates that.
Plus, we're hilarious.
Yeah,
It's
super
true.
funny.
it's true. I can vouch for that. What are you guys known for on your show? You guys do some pretty unique stuff.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Second date update is the number one thing people will
Love
say.
it.
Yes, honey.
It's so
If
funny.
you've been on a first date, but
Yeah.
then you don't get a call back, which seems to be like a lot here these days, we will call the other party to find out what exactly is going on. And some of the stories are great. And then, of course, we do Tough Love with Siri. We have a very special Siri that will dole out some tough love when you really need it.
She's very strong-minded.
Kinda
Every man needs a woman like that in their life. So Siri is the girl for you.
And
you
probably
go.
a breaking bad news. If you had to break bad news to somebody, we actually get on the phone and we let two people hash it out. So it's a very interactive, fun show that's real life. A lot of these times when you're listening to these phone calls, it's like you're kind of tuning in on a private call
Right.
that you get to kind of hear the behind the scenes. So it's really cool.
It's so much fun. And you guys do fun live and local events too.
Oh yes, we're all about being out in the community. We've been doing a lot of fun adult ditch days where we get our winners to come and say, you know what, I'm not coming to work today, and so we'll take them out
fun.
to Six Flags or
The Betty Lou.
The Betty Lou, where
Yeah.
we went out on the lake, and you know, we do Taste of Madison. We're really involved with the American Family Children's Hospital Radiothon, which is huge out here. So we try to make sure that our hands are in
Sure.
anything that we can possibly do. So
And the nice thing is we're live here, we live here, so it's a lot of other stations are
Right.
bringing in stuff from other states and other places, so it's nice to be here and
Right.
live and breathe it here.
Now, talking about that local connection, you know, you always wonder when you see people on TV or you hear them on the radio, like, are they actually like that in real life? Is that actually them? So who are you guys as individuals and, you know, as real people?
well, I am the crazy redheaded girl that's on the station.
That's true.
You know,
Those stories are
all true, girl. So yeah.
We're very real, we're genuine, and if something's going on, I mean, I went through a divorce a few years ago, I talked about it. I joke, things happen at the mall parking lot. Anything that happens in my life, I share it right away. So it is super personal, and it's stuff that everybody goes through at some point or another in their life.
And I believe I have a voice to speak for all women to put men in their place. That's kind of what I do on the show.
I love it. I love it.
Put yourself in your place.
Yeah.
So you guys have been in the business for quite some time now, and we kind of have a lacrosse connection, Lacrosse, Wisconsin. Shout out to that we can
Z93.
kind of talk about. There we go. So what were your first, you know, weeks on air like here in Madison together?
Oh wow, that was a
Yeah,
that was a big one.
Yeah, it's good. We actually didn't know each other prior to being on the radio, so
Wow.
meeting that, and then our first days here were at the American Family Children's Hospital, so we worked together for like 15 hours a day, and I frankly didn't know if I was going to be able to do it because 15 hours with her is a lot.
You are lucky. No,
it's like literally we were on Monday and Tuesday. We just met each other. We literally got, we phoned each other. Hey, blah, blah, who are you? Who are you? We talked for an hour. Like, okay, we like each other. Okay, so on Monday you guys are going to start. And then on Wednesday through Friday, we did the radiothon. And, I was almost wondering, wait, what's his name again?
Who are you?
Honey, when you're like on a prearranged marriage, you better know each other's names.
Oh, wow. Well, you guys have such great chemistry, and you guys do so well together. And again, what would you say your mission is, on your show?
We want to make people laugh in the morning. We want to help people get their day started and really take away from the monotonous part of their jobs and their ride on the Beltline, and really just take them out of their zone and just connect, really, I think.
I love it.
Absolutely. And it's fun for people to see that they can relate with other people in the community,
Totally.
You're not the only crazy one that's been on a really crazy
Well,
date.
you might be.
Well, go.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you guys definitely brighten my morning drive.
Oh,
So
you're sweet.
thank you so much. Marco and Krista again with 93.1 Jams. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
And Talk of the Town will be back with more right after this. Welcome back to Talk of the Town, and I'm joined now by Cedric and Casey with Briar Patch Youth Services. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
And so for people who may not be familiar, let's just start off with the history of Briar Patch.
Sure. Briar Patch has been around since 1971. It was founded, a long time, founded by a group of concerned citizens who saw that our community was not meeting the needs of runaway and homeless youth. So that has really been Briar Patch's primary mission for 45 years or so, meeting those needs. And then we went through a merger in 2003, which expanded our services to include youth that are not always runaway and homeless. And now we serve about 2,000 youth every year.
That's an incredible number.
It is a
It's
big
hard
number.
to even visualize, really.
Yes.
Wow.
And that doesn't even count the number of parents that we support through other programming as well.
And kind of going off of that, what are all the different services that you provide for youth, adults, parents, families, really everybody who needs help, it sounds like?
Okay, so it's a long list, so we'll cover them as best we can.
Sure.
So obviously services for runaway and homeless youth, which include, and their families, which include our shelter for runaway and homeless youth. We have an 8-bed shelter for youth that are on the streets and need a safe place to stay.
Wow.
They receive food and clothing, individual and family counseling. We also offer street outreach services to youth who are on the streets. So we're youth who needs some assistance but won't come to our facility. We have people that actually go out in the community and try and connect them with our services and with other services as well.
Wow.
And then we also offer a plethora of other services, youth employment, parent support services, including parent support groups. Other stuff that I missed, Cedric?
We have a 24-hour help hotline that can always be accessed. We have a weekly drop-in group for LGBTQ youth. There's just a bevy of services that we offer.
And I'm sure people could check them all out online as well if they want to look through the complete list.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So what are some of the risks that homeless youth face on a daily basis?
Probably some of the greatest risks that youth on the streets face when they're out there on their own, not accompanied by an adult, would be sexual exploitation and sex trafficking. That's a problem that's probably been around for several decades, but it's just really gotten a lot more attention in the last 4 to 5 years.
Right.
So definitely we're working with youth who are coming off the streets who've been sexually exploited. Youth on the streets also are at risk for being victimized for other types of crime. Robbery, assault, those kinds of things. Those youth also tend to be more prone to get involved with alcohol and drug abuse because it's common on the streets oftentimes for them to run into the availability of those substances. And
Sure.
So that's a concern of ours for those youth. What else, Cedric?
Well, and I would also say a lot of times it's education,
Yeah.
because once you don't have access to that resource, then, once you hit 18 and you're considered an adult, you aren't equipped with the proper tools to actually function in society. So that's another main concern of ours, is making sure that young people in these circumstances are connected with their education.
Right.
And just to add one last thing, nationally the numbers are about 5,000 youth on the streets will die each year as a result of assault, illness, or suicide. So that's really a scary number.
Oh, it's really is terrifying. And even to think that, at 18 you're considered an adult, but wow, how many people, me myself when I was 18, thinking of if I would have been totally by myself,
Right.
you really go into a totally different mode of living.
You do. And imagine being 15 or 16 and being out there by yourself.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Now you guys offer services for adults too.
We do offer services for adults. So we have a transitional living program. It's an 8-bed facility for homeless young adults ages 18 to 21, and they can stay in that program for anywhere from 6 to 18 months. And our goal with that group of young adults is to get them ready for independent living,
Okay.
Teach them the skills they need to do that. We also offer parent support services, I think I mentioned before, and family counseling as well.
Sure. Now we're running out of time here, but before we go, if people are watching this and they're thinking they want to get involved and want to help some way, what can they do?
Well, Casey mentioned that we now have an 8-bed shelter, and so we're currently in the middle of a campaign to raise money to operate the shelter. Awesome. So I would encourage people to visit our website at briarpatch.org and find out ways. We have a community resource toolkit where you can find out, a number of ways that you can help.
Wonderful, I love it. Cedric and Casey with Briar Patch Youth Services, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And thank you for watching Talk of the Town, and you can find us next time only on Channel 57.